From the 6th through to the 10th of May, Brownhills Musical Theatre are back in action. This time round it is Jesus Christ Superstar. And I have Judas, Mary and Jesus with me now. Who'd have thought it? How you doing, gang?
All right, thank you. Very good.
Right, which end are we going to start? We should start with Jesus. James.
James.
Yes, so well, it's almost just like a cool name in itself, doesn't it? So it's confusing when you have a disciple name, but you're playing Jesus. What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm playing Jesus. Very different to the role when you came and watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Absolutely.
Very different. Still long hair though, probably. Yeah. But yes. So I'm playing Jesus. And I mean, there's not really much to say.
But it is slightly different in as much as it's not the look that maybe people expect. The costumes are somewhat different, aren't they?
Yeah, so we're going for a more sort of a rocky kind of punk kind of look. So it
means in this show we don't actually see your nipples.
Because
your nipples turn up in so many shows, it's unbelievable.
Yes, no loincloths inside in this show. But yes, we're going for a rocky aesthetic. And I guess what's been nice about playing Jesus is with this show, not only have we got sort of the Jesus we all know, there's kind of more a human side to it, and there's kind of a lot more raw emotion to him, and there's a lot more interesting things to play with, and it's been quite a challenge for a role to be quite different, and for it all to be sung as well. Obviously, that's part of the challenge, trying to get what you want to say across, but also sing it in an interesting way as well.
But do you rock a beard in this too?
Well, we don't know yet. There's still
because you can't grow one, can you?
Well, I try my very hard.
You haven't started puberty yet, have you?
This is as good as it gets. But yes, we're still trying to half decide how that look's going to go. But yes, it is likely.
But it's only May. If you're actually going to grow something real, I think you're a bit behind schedule.
Yeah.
It may require a lot of glue. Yeah. Brett knows who to talk to for that sort of thing. So on to Mary then. Tell us a bit about how you're going to take this, because you've got an emotional role too, haven't you?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I'm going into it as someone who didn't really know the show before. And I think there's so many different interpretations of the show and so many different ways that people take the characters, because I was trying to watch versions when I was rehearsing for my audition and things, and it's like every version you watch, she's kind of portrayed in a different way. So I've sort of just been able to go into it with my own interpretation and form my own opinions of the character, and like just sort of listen to the songs and see what I think she'd be like. And it's been like a really collaborative process, like working with the directors as well, because we've all been sharing our opinions. So it's been sort of something that we've like been building together rather than just being like told what to do. It's been a very like group effort putting the whole thing together, which has been really nice.
And having seen so many different versions, is there anything that you think is going to be surprisingly different about your take on this?
We've decided that the version of Mary in this one, she's going to be played a lot more like, she doesn't mess about. She doesn't like take being spoken down to from anyone. Mm-hmm. She's got a bit more of an attitude than other versions you might see.
So power Mary in this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
And we've gone from the holy through to the concerned through to the evil one. Judas is for us how to cover.
I'm not having evil.
Okay, deceptive and betraying one.
Or betrayed. That's what I love about this character is he thinks he's right. Mm-hmm. He thinks what he's doing is right. He sees.
Well, it would have wrecked the rest of the Bible if he hadn't done it.
It would. Well, that's kind of part of the thing. He don't want to spoil the ending.
I think most people know this one.
But he does come to the conclusion that he had no part in it. He was chosen for this fate.
It was almost like Claudia was stood behind him, touched his shoulder, and that was it. It had to happen.
Something like that. But I think that's what the piece kind of deals with, is how much in that story is choices made by people who are real people and what they did, or how much is it from a hand beyond, playing pieces and making sure that the events happened exactly the way they did.
And somewhat different to 2,000 years ago, this has got some amazing musical numbers.
Absolutely. This is a dream role. I've got 3 of my favourite ever songs in musical theatre to sing, so it's... and then, I don't have to love him from this one here, and Gethsemane from that one over there. Our vocal pipes are well well worked in this show.
Absolutely, and I think that's it's another amazing reason for doing this show, and it's something that's brought to everybody, whatever background you're from. You probably know this story in some way or form. The religious text behind it appears in a lot of different books, and not just the Bible as we know it. So this is accessible, and so we said that the looks could be somewhat different, which I think is going to make it a bit more exciting as well for you all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what I like about it. I'm not a religious person, but I've been obsessed with this show since I was a young person. Not just because of the musical, because it takes what is taught as, to most people, as a very hard line, this happens, this it's very factual, into, well, what are these people? What would it be like? You know, Judas himself, you know, in the Bible, there's not much written about his motives. It's just he betrays Jesus. So Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice went, well, what were his motivations? What was his state of mind? What led him to do that? And I think we get the same with Mary. And then with Jesus, with Gethsemane, you know, so many characters voicing through incredible songs emotions that we don't think about when we just hear the story as this is what happened in the story of the crucifixion.
And playing Mary as well, I mean, you've got interactions which go through the whole cast, don't you? You've got to express yourself in different ways to different members of the disciples and the other characters.
Yeah, I've got quite a few relationships to keep track of. No, yeah, it's because, I mean, like I said, I didn't know the show at all before. I just sort of know, you know, the story of the Bible that everyone knows. So I really just didn't know what to expect, but I really enjoyed, like, you know, researching the character and things like that as well, and, you know, exploring her relationship with Jesus, figuring out the relationship with Judas. Like, it's been really interesting to actually not only play the part, but really think about, you know, who she was and what she would have done and how she would have been around these people, because she had quite, like, a difficult story. Like, I think it's really interesting to actually try and get into that and try and portray that through the character.
Mm-hmm. And James, first time you've been nailed to a cross?
Yes, I mean, I have actually done this show before when I played the role of Peter a long time ago, about 10 years
But
ago.
Peter's a cool role though, isn't
He
it?
is, yeah. He's standing right over there.
Yeah, we have Peter in the room with us, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, no, that's going to be certainly interesting. Emotions that are going to be really tricky to portray, I think. I think there's a lot of...
Well, you've got to put yourself through the ringer for this one, because you know the moral behind the whole thing is Jesus dying for everybody else. You've got that literally on your shoulders.
Yeah, once we get through midway through the show, it's not fun for Jesus for the rest of for most of Act 2. But yeah, there's some really pivotal moments and some really heart-wrenching moments as well that are really gonna, you know, cause some tears, I think.
Absolutely, well, all for the right reasons,
Exactly.
alongside the amazing singing that we're going to hear as well. It's all taking place at the Lichfield Garrick. It is from the 6th through to the 10th of May. They are Brownhills Musical Theatre Company. You can find them on Facebook and probably on Instagram too, as they prepare for the show. If you want to grab tickets, 01543 412 121 or lichfieldgarrick.com to grab them that way. Break a leg, have a brilliant time with it, and I know you will all be amazing.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.